The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Talladega, presented by Pennzoil, reminding you to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Matt Kenseth in the 17, the Daytona 500 winner, leading another lap. One of 8 different drivers that have traded the lead 10 times in this race so far. Race 4 in the chase, the ultimate wild card in the championship, and so far there are almost 3 groups of drivers. Those up front like Kenseth and Casey Kane and Dale Jr. and Clint Boyer. A couple guys in the middle of the pack like the championship leader Brad Keselowski, and then guys that have dropped to the tail end of the field like Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, and Denny Hamlin.
Well, things are a little bit crazy up front there. We've seen some cars, some nice saves through the trials, some people getting out of shape there. So as you can see now, Brad Keselowski back there at the back. He dropped even further back too to join Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin.
Fans jumping. 88 car to the lead. At the very tail end of this lead draft, Brad Keselowski left of the screen, and there in the center of the picture, Tony Stewart in the Mobil 1 car, and Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin bringing up the tail end of this lead draft. Jamie, they're in 36th and 37th.
Unbelievable right now, and Denny Hamlin telling his team he has a vibration on his mirror. It's not on there solid enough. He can't see anything out of it. Good for him. Nobody's behind him yet, but he's thinking later on in the race he's going to need that mirror a lot. So he's asked his team to come up with something to help secure it so he can see out of it clearly. Right now they're all talking and discussing what they can do. They're going to clamp something to the roll bar to try to steady it. That's going to be interesting to watch on a pit stop, Alan.
I guess.
Yeah, that's a bad feeling as a driver because you depend on that. That's the one thing that can help you as you work your way forward and get towards the latter stage of this race, is trying to know where everybody's at as much as you possibly can. So that thing vibrating a little bit, it can be very aggravating to the driver.
Of course, the other tool helping the driver figure out what is around him on the racetrack, especially with all the safety equipment making it difficult to see, is the spotter. Each car mandated by NASCAR to have a spotter, at least one. Here at Talladega, they usually use 2, but one that's stationed up on top of the control tower. And the spotter's platform in the center of the racetrack, it's toward pit exit, and they're in constant radio communication with their driver to let him know what's going on around him. Here's Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team.
And the 1, 17, 18, and 5, all with you on the bottom. The 1, 17, 18 are both, all 3 clear, or all 3 clear with you.
See how they have to use those binoculars because it's so far away over to the back straightaway. See, now he's probably going over here to talk to maybe one of the other spotters. Try to get together, make a deal.
Jamie McMurray's spotter there.
You know, those spotters are great, but just as you saw, they're having to use binoculars to make all of this happen. You know, as a driver, I only wanted that certain information, and you ultimately, as the driver of this race car, are responsible for your moves and your actions.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. out in front, Vince.
And Junior's car not handling 100% to his liking. They made a wedge adjustment on that first pit stop to try to get him a little bit more comfortable, especially when he's out front. You know, it feels a lot different when you're back in the middle of the pack. Junior spent much of this race in the front section, and right now he's on the point trying to get a handle on it a little bit smoother. Jerry?
Yeah, McMurray started 24th. Vance drove it all the way to 4th in 18 laps. And but when he came in for that pit stop, he said, guys, fuel only, but also I'm worried about getting hot. Guys around me are starting to push water out, so pull some tape off the grill. Being very cool today, they had a lot of tape on the front of the grill. They pulled the tape off, and now it is fast and cool. McMurray very comfortable in second spot. Mike.
Matt Kenseth, before that last stop, was complaining that the car was a little bit tight. They made a wedge adjustment trying to stabilize the car a little bit. He's been rather quiet since, rather content. Kind of surprised, though. Had a conversation with his crew chief this morning, Jimmy Fennig, and he told me they were slow. Does that car look slow to you guys?
No, hasn't looked slow at Daytona or Talladega this year. First, third, and third in those 3 races for Matt Kenseth. One of those guys that a victory today would be huge for. But Kenseth behind Jamie McMurray and the race leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Talladega. BCS Countdown is on ESPN and ESPNU tonight, as we welcome you back to the Talladega Superspeedway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. out in front, retaking the lead. A lap after Matt Kenseth, drafted by him with the help of Greg Bifflin, took the lead. But you won't see Matt Kenseth at the front of this pack now, because shortly after taking the lead, disaster nearly happened.
So he was getting pushed by Greg Biffle's teammate, but Biffle got a little bit to the inside, and as Kenseth tried to turn down, got extremely loose. I couldn't tell from there if there was contact or if it was just a matter of turning his car down.
Yeah, no matter what started it,
well,
look at this.
Yeah, there was a little bit of pushing right there.
But look at the save. That's incredible. Look at that's on the flat of the racetrack at 200 miles an hour.
Unbelievable. And all these people said it's the safest at the front, but there's your leader almost taking everybody out.
I think I was on the sit there.
There you go, man. No pressure on that one. No pressure on the one.
Look at that.
Keep going high, go high, go way high, go high. Keep going, one inside, keep coming, no caution, keep coming. You're clear.
So first to 31st for Matt Kenseth, just like that, but not wrecked. And still in the race.
Yeah. And I think he fell back there to catch his breath.
Yeah.
And start making his way forward. We'll see, what strategy does he employ now that he lost all of that track position? Is he going to try to drive his way back up through there? And I think that's what Matt Kenseth will do. He'll try to find another good drafting partner and make his way back to the front.
Should I try this again? BCS Countdown on ESPN and ESPNU tonight. The day after the dust has settled, and there was a lot of dust on Saturday. Our analysts break down the key victories and defeats that took place on the college football gridiron and their impact on the standings. And a look at the key matchups for next week. BCS Countdown at 8:30, then at 9, presented by Discover Card, tonight on ESPN and ESPNU.
Kind of like this race today. There were some incredible college football games yesterday.
So sliding across that transition from the banking to the flat of the racetrack sometimes will wrinkle up the front end of one of these race cars, and aerodynamics being so critical here at Talladega. Mike, anything from the 17 team?
And that's exactly what they're concerned about, Alan. After catching his breath, Kenseth radioed in. He wants his team to get the binoculars out and zoom in on that splitter. Thinks he may have done a little bit of damage there.
What do you think, Andy?
It looks okay. The shots we've seen so far, I don't see any problem. Looks like the car's still plenty fast. I know that outside lane hasn't been the way to make a lot of moves, but he's coming to the front. I think they're okay until we get a better shot at it.
Speaking of coming to the front, as Kenseth tries to pick up Trevor Bayne in the draft.
From that angle right there, it looks pretty good.
Casey Mears gets picked up by Jeff Gordon in the draft, and they had a shot at the lead and then fell back. Mears in that 13, the blue and white car.
Yeah, to make this outside lane work, or the middle, and then certainly on the very outside lane, you really have to stay attached to the car to really make some ground. And I know a lot of these drivers aren't willing right now to take that gamble of staying there for the 2 or 3 laps that it would really take to get you to the front, taking a chance of running the engine hot and creating a problem.
See, in that shot, David Ruderman in that 10 car up in 6th.
One of the great things about the drafting and the restricted engine package at Talladega, it's the great equalizer. People that might not normally have the technology to compete on a week-to-week basis on one of the high downforce tracks and that kind of thing come to Talladega. And I think you said it before, Andy, at the top of our broadcast, everybody's got a chance to win.
Yeah, if you can stay just in this pack, in this shot right here, to the end of the race on the last lap, or last few laps, you'll have a shot at winning. Seen a lot of unlikely winners come here.
Many, many. Just one caution so far today at Talladega. We're past 100 miles, and the leaders Dale Earnhardt Jr. Our telecast today, presented by Pennzoil. There is the race for the lead at Talladega. Dale Earnhardt Jr. shuffled back. Casey Mears pushed to the front by Jeff Gordon. Now Jeff Burton, 31, pushed to the front by his Richard Childress Racing teammate Kevin Harvick. How long will they be there? Kurt Busch on the outside with a draft from Dale Earnhardt Jr. Burton led that lap.
Boy, look at Kurt Busch, got a lot of momentum now with that push from Junior.
See Jeff Burton get extremely loose right there. Now Harvick closes up on his back bumper.
Yeah, that ought to tighten him up.
It might not tighten him up. It's going to make him go fast here for a minute.
Look at him go.
Everybody started getting a little antsy.
You can see he pushed Burton out there. Harvick did the smart thing there, knowing that he had gotten Burton out there too far. He wasn't going to have anything except being set there by himself. He pulled down to the inside lane to get some help.
Just going to open the door for Trevor Bayne. He's got a strong car today.
Yeah, he's got a strong car, but nobody on his bumper right now. He's going to have to do a little better job of keeping somebody attached to that bumper. Try to get him pushed to the front. There he's got some help.
Eric Almirola in the 43. David Stremme in the 30.
Casey Mears once again. He liked that idea of being out front. See if he can make it happen again. It was Jeff Gordon who pushed him to the lead a few minutes ago.
We are just past a quarter distance in this race. Only the one caution flag so far. Coming up on another round of green flag pit stops soon. There's Trevor Bayne to the lead in the 21.
That's a little tricky when they take that lead from the outside and move down and try to get back to the bottom. That's where we saw Kenseth and Biffle get in trouble.
Thumbs up from Trevor. Thanks, Eric. Trevor Bayne leading. 37 cars in the lead pack.